The new solar starships in No Man's Sky look absolutely gorgeous. They have some really awesome elements and they are definitely different than anything we had so far in terms of ships in the game, which is why in this video we're going to talk about how you can also find a ton of these very easily, even max rank, and how much it actually costs to fully upgrade one. So let's begin. Now, as soon as you log in the new update, you will want to pay close attention to some of these brand new black market economies. You will obviously need one economy scanner installed on your ship to see this information in the first place, and you can easily filter for it using the economy filter and then paying attention to some of these kind of lighter purple sort of color that appears on the map. Chances are that it's going to be a black market economy, and these are basically the new Outlaw Systems from the Outlaws update. This is what gives you access to the new content, including the new space stations, the vendors, NPCs, the new goodies, and most important, these solar class starships. As it's noted, as soon as you log into one of these systems, these are extremely frequented by solar class starships, to the point that I've noticed even up to 5 spawning at the same time in the same location. Don't be fooled by the space stations. They might seem similar to the abandoned ones, like they have the exteriors broken and they have the black-red color scheme, but the layout inside is completely changed, featuring new NPCs, as I've said, a ton of cool stuff in there. I'm not going to focus on that in this video. Instead, I'll focus on how to get these new solar ships with a maximum rank. For now, just keep in mind that this is just limited testing. We maybe still need a few more days until we can properly put the black market economy in its proper category, but for now, from my testing, it seems that it's closer to tier 3 economies, as in something like rich, wealthy, opulent, affluent, advanced, and everything else in between. Reason being is because the very first black market system I went into immediately spawned a max rank regular explorer right in front of me. So for this reason, I immediately realized that whatever other ship can spawn in these systems, including solar ones, can also spawn as a maximum rank. So this is, by the way, the coordinates if you want to come in the same system. In case I was just too lucky and you might not be in the same situation, you can find the coordinates right now at the top of the screen. But if you also find yourself in one of these systems, this is basically what you will want to do. The first trick is to go at the space station itself, and there is a high chance that you will notice at least a couple of these new solar type of ships spawning immediately. In case you don't see them, simply reload your save file and you should definitely see a first wave spawning, and that's pretty much the entire process like it's always been. Now, it did take a few reloads and quite a number of C-class solar ships, but eventually it took no more than 5 tries to finally get a max rank one, so it definitely seems that this is a golden system, or maybe all the black market ones are, I'm not entirely sure, but this is your typical solar ship when you get it with the maximum rank. You get about 15 slots unlocked in the regular category and a few more, like 4 or 3 in the cargo and the technology, and from that point on you will need to buy or unlock the other, well, slots yourself, which is going to be quite costly, as we will see in just a little bit. But in the meantime, I do want to focus a bit on one of these new models. Of course, in the interior nothing really changes from my knowledge, but the exterior and the animation itself is just top tier. It's the toppest tier that has ever existed in No Man's Sky. There's a ton of animations for every single part moving and like getting out and just like expanding and getting other parts out, including all the way to that solar shield that you get, which by the way is procedurally generated too, and there's different ones, like a ton of options for different types of ships. This one is a little bit more square and a bit bigger, but there's like semicircles, there's like pentagons and all types of stuff in there that I haven't even began to scratch the surface. Now, overall, I'm just in love with the design of these new ships. You can obviously see the craftsmanships over here, and not just that, every single piece of it is animated, that you will see later on. This is just one of the models in this system. Obviously there's plenty more, but I got it max rank, so I wanted to keep it like that. Now, I did want to go ahead and test the cost of fully upgrading one of these. Let's say you want to bring it to 40 40 slots at least in the primary inventory, and maybe get some yeah, technology slots as well. Well, here is how much it costs, and the total was about 1 billion units. I'm not even kidding. I had 1.2, I believe, at the start, bought a bunch of these to reach like the maximum in the general inventory, and by the time I realized that, including of course the technology, let's just say that too, I was down to just 200 million again, which was quite painful. So this is going to be quite an expensive endeavor that you might want to like just go ahead and do, because I mean, why not? It's a very beautiful kind of ship. Oh, and by the way, there was a second ship that I got. It was an A class, so I wanted to test to see exactly how much it costs in terms of nanites to upgrade its class. It's the same price, so 50k for the last rank. Now, as far as other similar locations, this one is of course courtesy to Reddit, so here are the coordinates to it, because it brings you to one of the coolest looking solar ships I've seen so far people discovering, and it's this amazing yellow one that, well, kind of reminds me of Star Wars, to be honest. All of them remind me, but this one in particular reminds me the most. Now, there's gonna be a ton of these in this system. Here are just a few of these examples. There's quite a lot of them with some of these pointy kind of backs, but obviously the best one is the yellow one. So you're gonna want to like reload at any of these trading posts, and eventually you should see one of these popping up, and this is the beauty that I'm talking about. Now, of course, as I've said, A class, but this one looks even more impressive. It comes with a semicircle shield and a really awesome black and, well, yellow color scheme. I want you to pay close attention to all of these moving parts. As I've said previously, Hello Games has animated the heck out of these. If you use your hyperdrive, it activates these flaps differently than if you just use your thrusters. So if you go with full-on hyperdrive, they fully open up and they kind of expand a lot more. If you just go at a normal pace using W or just like the arrow, it's not going to open that much. Then it's going to open quite a bit when you use the thrusters, and of course the maximum is going to be during that hyperdrive. So I'm kind of like in love with the overall design and the quality of this. We are quite literally getting close to Destiny vibes between these and the cape that we just got in the new update. Nonetheless, on a final note, here are the stats using just hyperdrive upgrades and another one for maneuverability. So this is basically somewhere between fighters and explorers. I haven't tested yet the damage potential, but in terms of the hyperdrive range, this seems to be the second best at hyperdrive range in the game, right before the explorer. My explorer has reached like 2400. I think it's unoptimized. This one reached almost 2000, so that's actually pretty good, about 400 more than my fighter, and also just a bit less maneuverability, like 788 compared to like 940 plus or whatever it was, but actually quite better than an explorer. So I would say it's a mix between these two, getting best of both worlds, but just slightly less than each of them in each category. And again, we're gonna see how the damage is, but it definitely seems to be quite high. Maybe it's not gonna be as high as a fighter because it seems to be lagging behind a little bit, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's just slightly worse than a fighter and way better than anything else in the game. So I would say that this could just be the best all-arounder ship right now in No Man's Sky, but we're gonna check that in the upcoming days. This is it. Totally let me know down below, did you get one of these awesome ships so far? You can even post a picture or tweet at me any of your cool ships, and of course I'm gonna leave you guys at it. Peace out.